Good morning, Neil. A very big congratulations, first of all, on this brilliant score. It's a very phenomenal score for almost any of the colleges, frankly. Yeah, so you have a 99 percentile overall, you have a 95% in the quant, you have a 97% in the verbal, you have a 93% in the data insights. And
Yeah.
just tell us that how did it feel? I mean, how long has it been since you actually gave the exam?
So I gave the exam almost like 4 months ago. I gave it in November.
Okay, okay.
Of November.
But
Yeah.
it's been a fairly bit of a time, yeah. So, but
Yeah. Yeah.
but you can still remember exactly how it felt when the exam actually finally ended and you saw that score right in front of you after all that prep. You gave this thought,
Yeah.
okay, fine, it's finally finished. So you can just tell us that how did it feel?
Yeah. I think honestly, I was just relieved after I got the score.
Hmm.
So I gave one attempt in October as well, and I got a 645. And that was it. Like I was pretty disappointed with that score because
Hmm.
in my mocks I was always getting between like 675 and 725.
Hmm.
And I was expecting a score like that, but I think like exam day pressure and nerves got to me, so I didn't perform well that day. So I, prepped extra hard in that 1 month, and I was just relieved to, finally move on because I'd been studying for almost like 1 year or a little more than 1 year for the GMAT.
Hmm. Okay,
So I
okay.
was just happy to get that done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you just I mean for the viewers basis, we can get the reference point also. So we can just tell us a little bit about yourself and what led you to start this GMAT journey, and eventually what led you to know about the top and take out the top itself also, of course.
So, to give a background about myself, I did my graduation in economics from Delhi University, and then I've been working in consulting since then. So I graduated in 2020, so it's been like around 5 years that
Okay.
I've been working in consulting. And my plan was always to do an MBA. It was always to do an MBA from abroad. So I knew I had to do like either the GMAT or GRE, and I
Mhm.
thought that GMAT is better because like in terms of like scholarships and maybe future job prospects, I knew that I had to give my GMAT. Yeah, so the plan was always to do an MBA from abroad.
Mhm.
So I knew I had to do the GMAT. And I'd heard of Top One from a lot of friends of mine, like my college friends and people from my work. Like a lot of them had used Top One and they've got some good scores like 740 and 750, etc. So I thought this is a good program. I always wanted to do a self-paced course
Okay.
because I'm someone who likes to study like early in the morning
Mhm.
when I have some time before work.
Okay.
And like live classes don't really happen at that time. Either it's like your both days of your weekend are blocked or the weekdays. And that really didn't feel like an option to me. So I knew I always wanted to do a self-paced course.
Okay. Okay.
And yeah, I'd heard from a lot of friends who had done the top one self-paced course that, I'd heard some good stuff from them, like the practice questions and the videos, and it was well structured. So that's why I chose top one.
Okay. Okay. Excellent. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you started your prep, can you tell us like which were the specific areas that you were struggling with, and if anything specifically top helped you, any of the part of the structure or the concept or the portion of the course itself helped you to improve in that particular area?
So the quant and the English wasn't really like a huge challenge for me. It was the data section which was a little challenging. Um, because it was something which I guess like I was used to that in my job, but from an exam point of view, it was something very new.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the DI section, I also started very late in prep for. Like I spent many months doing quant and verbal. But then the DI I had left for like just the last maybe 2 months or something. I felt that was a mistake in my first attempt. And DI was the section which I scored like the lowest in.
Okay.
I think in both of my exams. So I
Okay.
felt like yeah, that was the weak point. And yeah, I felt like top one the questions on the portal were very helpful because DI feel is something you can't really study from a PDF or a video. You really need to like see the question on the screen because you have to sort the tables. You have
Yeah.
to maybe like click through different tabs, etc. So I
Mm-hmm.
felt like the top one portal was good. It helped prepare for the actual exam.
Okay, okay. So I mean, there are higher PDFs there, but that are usually suggested to do those in an untimed manner because the interface is not
Hmm.
exactly the actual simulation of the exam.
Yeah,
It's a bit
yeah. I
confusing.
think
So,
particularly for the multi-source reasoning and the table questions, I think like for that you really need the portal.
yeah, exactly.
So I think the graphs and I feel like the two-part analysis you can still do on a PDF because
Hmm.
you don't have to really go through different
Yeah.
tabs of something.
Hmm.
But table and MSR is completely different. Yeah,
Yeah.
again.
So, were the number of tests and marathon sufficient enough resources for you, or you went about going through those resources multiple times? Because I personally, I
So,
remember I had to go through more than one number of time for a couple of tests to get that hang of it.
so for the test, I think I did every single sectional test.
Mm-hmm.
For I think all three sections. Like I did like I think there are around 10 sectional tests. So I did like all the sectional tests, and I did almost all the topic wise tests as well on the portal.
Okay.
For again all three sections, quant, verbal, and DI.
Okay, got it.
So yeah, I think that's it preps you for an adequate level. I felt like in the actual exam, the quant was a little easier.
Okay.
The DI was, I would say, on par to like the top one questions, but I felt like the verbal was on par or even more difficult in the exam. I
Okay.
felt,
Understood. Okay. Okay.
yeah.
When you're talking about the passage length, it was generally in the ballpark of what you are seeing in the 700 to 800 or the a length of
The
very much comparative
not the
test that you
length of the the for the reading comprehension, I felt like the length of the questions were okay. It was the passage itself which was like very complicated. It was like, some passages were about like philosophical, talking about like some philosophy or something, or some
Mhm.
ideas which like you can't really comprehend
Yeah, of
what
course.
you can't fully understand the passage in like 2 3 minutes.
Hmm.
But then, like the octave thing helped me out a lot because, like, you don't really need to understand the meaning of the passage; you just need to understand what the author is trying to convey.
Hmm.
That really helped me in the verbal section.
Got it. Got it. Okay.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
can you give us a general idea like how much number of full length mocks that you gave? Because people keep asking this time and again. I have bought this 10 mocks from there, 10 mocks from there. So I just can't hear from
yeah.
myself only.
So in the for the top one portal, I think I did around 4 to 5 full length mocks.
Mm-hmm.
And the top one portal, I was getting around. I think the lowest score I got, which was like very bad, it was like a 585. And the highest score I got was a 695, I think, on
Okay.
the in the top one portal.
Okay.
And I was getting an average of around like 675 maybe. Like I got I think 645 in one test, 685 something in another, and
Mm-hmm.
695 was the highest score. So I did 5 full length mocks from there. And then I bought the official mocks from GMAT as well, just the first two. I think you get those free with the exam.
Okay.
And I felt those were very, very easy. Like they weren't an accurate representation of like the level in the exam.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think in one mock I got a 755, and in another one I got a 715.
Okay. Okay.
Uh, but yeah, and I felt like the quant, especially the quant, was very, very easy in the official, like the official GMAT
Mm-hmm.
mocks. It wasn't representative of what comes in the exam at all.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I mean, I usually suggest people to, if they really want to go for the official mark, you usually suggest them to keep it as a last so that it actually acts as a confidence booster also. So yeah, actually
Yeah,
going into them.
yeah.
Yeah.
I felt like the verbal was a similar level to the exam on the official marks. The DI also was, I guess, easier or similar, but the quant was extremely easy. Like
Okay.
I used to be left with like 10, 15 minutes in the official
Mhm.
marks when I was done with all like 20 questions, 21 questions.
Okay, got it, got it.
Yeah.
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 Also, one thing, can you give us a general idea of your study hour schedule and how much were you putting in a day? I mean, was it consistent or there were hiccups here and there? Because it can be a difficult thing navigating the
Yeah,
entire thing with the
I
work
think
sometimes.
with work, I think it's difficult to balance GMAT.
Mm-hmm.
So I was in the start of my prep, I was very inconsistent. Like I had started preparing, I think in 2023.
Okay.
That's when I had first seriously started preparing.
Okay.
And then I was very on and off. Like some weeks, some months, I used to be, like, studying properly. The other times, I used to like just drop it. But then I started seriously preparing. I think in early 2024.
Okay.
And at that time, I used to try and study around, I would say maybe 3 to 4 hours during a weekday,
Hmm.
and around 4 to 5, again 5 to 6 hours maybe on the weekend.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's fairly decent ballpark. Yeah. So.
Yeah, like I like to have like some free time on the weekends as well to just de-stress. So
Yeah.
I didn't need to study more than like 5 hours. So I would
Hmm.
say, on an average, of course, like it couldn't happen every day depending on work schedule and all. But
Hmm.
I think on an average, I had maintained like a log of my hours studied, and
Okay.
it was around 22 to 23 hours a week, I would say.
Okay. Okay, for someone example who's just planning on going into the prep, some people like to really plan their prep. So, what is the average time they should be looking at? That this is the time that I might take for an average to get an exam done when they're starting from the scratch.
So the mistake I made when I started prepping was I wasn't consistent in the beginning.
Okay.
So I think I wasted around like 6 to 7 months of prep time, just in taking breaks from studying. And, you have to be, I feel, very consistent with GMAT because there are some fundamental topics which you will forget if you take a lot of breaks.
Yeah.
But I think if you prep seriously, consistently, and, do it all in one go, I think it can be around 6 months.
Okay. Understand. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you might take 6 months because I feel like you got to understand all the topics, to understand the fundamentals and then practice questions and then, give sectional tests, mock tests. I think it takes some time. So if you want to get like, if you're aiming for like a really good score, like
Yeah.
700 plus,
Hmm.
I think it could take around 6 months.
Okay. When you're saying that you
Yeah.
had that work thing and everything, I mean, you still were able to get through the entire thing, get your mindset correct to just have to go for the exam. And can you just give it
Yeah.
like what were your motivations in trying to make sure that you have to stay consistent? 6 months are done, but I have to stay consistent, and because it can be a hard journey because for a major part of the extent, I would say you are on your own. We have this faculty support and everything because but you have to do the work, so you are on your own for the major point of time. So what kept you motivated that there's something that I need to get done with?
I think the motivation comes from one thing only, is just that, of course, like we want to apply for MBAs. That's why we're doing the GMAT, right? So
Mhm.
I think the motivation for me was just to get the highest score possible to try and, get the best shot at getting like, the best school possible for me.
Mhm.
Because, as like Indian applicants, it's more difficult for us, and the GMAT bar is also higher for
Yeah.
us. So I think that's what kept me motivated, just to get the best score possible to give me the best shot at success.
Yes, of course. I mean, I've just been through the urban cycle myself. I completely understand the bar that has been set for Indian
Yeah,
people.
it's difficult. Yeah, I mean, I feel like even a 675, 685 is like an average score.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
think like yeah,
you're really aiming for M7s. Like, really, really brilliant people are coming for it. So you have to step up your game.
yeah. Plus, I think GMAT is just it's very important, but I feel like it's not a necessary, but it's I think it's a sufficient but not necessary or something like that. Like, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I feel like you need to have a good score just to be
Hmm.
considered, and then of course the rest of your application also has to be
Exactly.
uh, perfect. I feel like GMAT alone won't get you over the line, but you need to have it
Yes, yes,
to
exactly.
yeah get
To
you over the
even
line.
have them an idea of actually looking at your profile.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. You might get a shoot foot in the door, but it
Yeah.
won't get you across.
Exactly, yeah, sure. And coming on to your exam day prep, what was the order that you went about? And did you actually go on to the center or you actually gave it online?
So I had heard some mixed reviews about giving at the giving the GMAT online. I'd heard a few people getting their scores cancelled, and
Mm-hmm.
just in general, like maybe internet connectivity issues or some like anything. I didn't want to give the exam, again or too many times. So I went to the center.
Okay.
And I think exam day prep like not prep, but the how you're feeling on the exam day matters a lot. Like I told you, I gave the exam twice. The first time I gave it, I thought I was pretty nervous, because like going to the center, like all that, it's a new
Yeah,
experience.
exactly.
And
It's been a
I
while
felt like,
since I actually given exam, so
yeah, it's a very different experience than giving it at home, sitting in a comfortable situation. You get a certain level of comfort when
yeah,
you're giving it at home. But versus when you go to the center, I felt like in the first attempt, I was like double checking my calculations, even very simple ones.
yeah,
And I felt that wasted a lot of time. And just the nerves, I think, got to me, and that makes such a huge difference to your final
yes,
score.
exactly.
And I feel another thing which is really, really important is the section that you start with, or like the order of the sections.
Okay.
So
Mm-hmm.
in my first exam, because I felt DI was my weakest, I did DI first, then quant, then verbal.
Okay.
And I think that made a huge difference to my section because my DI didn't go well at all in the first exam.
Okay.
And I think that translated into quant as well because I felt like my DI didn't go well. That still lingered on my mind, and
Yeah.
I don't know if it was true or not, but I felt my quant questions were also difficult, like even in the starting in
Mm-hmm.
my first exam. So that really, I think, messed up my first attempt. And then my second attempt, I did quant, DI, and then verbal.
Okay.
And I felt that made a massive difference because then my second attempt, my quant, I don't know if my brain was fresh or something, I felt it was very easy.
Yeah.
Like I think I almost got all questions wrong except one. And
Okay.
that too, I think I maybe made a silly mistake or something. And then my DI also I felt went a lot better
Mm-hmm.
because I guess my frame of mind was better coming from the
Yeah.
quant. So I feel like instead of doing like a difficult section first, maybe do your strengths, like your strong section in the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
then maybe like a medium difficulty section, and then like my verbal I knew was my strongest out of all three.
Okay.
So that I chose till the like for the last.
Understood. I mean, yeah, I think it acts as a feedback loop. I mean, I used to do the same thing because once you start overthinking, your comprehension skills of how you understand the concepts, of how you're going to approach the concepts really changes because you are getting overwhelmed with the thought that how the previous section went and things like that. So I think the feedback loop really helps.
That and I don't know if it's true or not, but I saw some. I saw some YouTube video where the GMAT. I think the people who make the test were there, and I think they said that the Focus edition is adaptive sectionally as well.
Okay.
I don't know if that's true. I mean, you guys are the experts on that, but I felt that also played in my like part in my decision because I felt like if the sections are adaptive sectionally as well, like maybe get like the most difficult section in the middle or earlier rather than right at the end.
Okay. I mean, yeah, it can be the first question itself on the other section can be, but not the
Yeah,
entire section, the first question itself. And but it's still a bit of a black box. So,
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know.
It's all up in the air. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Anything irregular that you experienced in terms of the content or the like questions, something that surprised you in sense in both.
Um, no surprises. Like it's all like I think most of the stuff in the top one syllabus, everything is covered actually. Quant definitely all types of question.
Mm-hmm.
One question actually surprised me in quant, where in quant I was given a bar graph, like a bar chart,
Mm-hmm.
and I was actually told to calculate the median of that.
Okay.
And that is something which I think in Sandeep sir, the content material is there, but as a question, just to straight up calculate the median, I had like that was a surprising question I felt because I had never seen that in any of the mocks which I've given, even like top one or official, any sort of question. I had never seen a question where you had to actually calculate just the median.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
That was surprising, but yeah, DI was pretty straightforward. Verbal was straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no really surprise in those sections.
Understood. Okay. I mean, yeah, finally, any specific do's and don'ts that you would want to share with the students who are actually preparing or planning on going into the prep after
Yeah.
on this video?
So I would say for like at least for the top one syllabus, I feel like you should do every single hard question, like that 700 to 800, like the question bank the sir gives. I did like every single question in quant, and that really solidified my basics. Like I never really had a problem in quant. I know that's a section a lot of people struggle in,
Mm-hmm.
but those questions helped prepare me so well that like in the final exam, like I didn't struggle in quant at all.
Okay. Understood.
So I felt like those 700 to 800 level questions were really good. For verbal as well, like all the difficult passages, like if you do the 700 to 800, I almost did like 100 to 150 of those passages,
Okay.
and that really helped solidify like the octave technique. And I never had a problem in verbal as well. I think DI is probably the section which you shouldn't take lightly because I think people are used to GMAT. They think it's quant and verbal. They just do those two sections, but at the end of the day, the score is weighted like equally for all
Yeah.
three of those sections.
Yeah.
So DI, I feel is something people should start doing in the like beginning only
Okay.
because it's something which you really it's completely new. I feel
Mm-hmm.
it's not like standard questions that we've done in college or school. So I think DI is something you should really focus on
Understood. Okay.
right in the beginning of your prep rather than leaving it for the end.
Okay. Understood. Okay. Yeah. And any specific plans? For example, have you given any for have you already applied for the colleges as of yet, or you're planning on applying in September for round one?
Yeah, so because my attempt was so late, I gave it in like end of November,
Mm-hmm.
and like because the score was so good. So
Mm-hmm.
originally I was thinking of not applying in round two,
Mm-hmm.
but then because the score was so good and I had like a bit of time, so I thought let's just apply to a few colleges.
Okay.
So I applied to four colleges in round two, like this in Jan.
Mm-hmm.
And I applied to Kellogg, Wharton, Booth, and London Business School.
Mm-hmm.
And I got interview invites from LBS and Kellogg, and Wharton and Booth was rejected.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm gonna give my LBS interview soon. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, yeah. All the best for that. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
All the best for all the results, and we'll probably be in touch. I have already sent you a request on LinkedIn. We'll
Oh,
just
yeah, sure,
we'll,
sure. Yeah,
we'll
good luck to you too as well. I think you said you replied in round one, right? You must have got the
yeah, yeah. I'm most
replies.
likely
Yeah.
going to Tepper. Yeah.
Okay, okay, brilliant. Nice. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, yeah. Most likely we'll just be in touch, and I'll get to know about your journey and wherever you go. And
Sure, sure. Yeah.
yeah, all the best for
Cool.
your journey, and thank you for
Thank
your
you. All
time.
the best to you
Yeah, you
too.
too.
Bye
You
bye.
too. Okay, bye bye.